So the grid being formed then for the first of the two top 20 reverse grid sprint races from the Hungaroring, and it is James Wingfield on pole position ahead of Richard Molden. Then it's John Langan and the silver class driver Ivan Anderson on row 2. Then it's Alex Jonesma and Richard Spanos-Ready on row 3. Alex Van Gien and Daniel Cook on row 4. Jose O'Donnell and Frick Smith on row 5. Colin Ward and Tara Tyler on row 6. Then comes Stephen Williams and Luke Harrison on row 7, with Alexander Dobbelsberger and Tim Ellis on row 8. Ishmael Basso and Luke Power on row 9. And then, of course, our top two from the previous race, Carl Power and Danny Henney, starting down in 20th place. And we're about to go green for the reverse grid sprint race. Away we go, and it's a very good start by Alex Jonesma from 5th place. He's launched forward already, and it looked like Richard Molden was trying to draw alongside James Wingfield to take the lead of the race. Indeed he is. He'll have the inside line down towards turn 1, and Jonesma going very late on the brakes, but goes all the way around the outside, runs off the circuit, but it looks like he's managed to avoid any calamities in doing so, and he's gained a place as well because he's up into 4th. He's now trying to get up into 3rd place as well, and he's done so successfully down into turn 3. So it's Molden leads Wingfield, leads Jonesma. Ben Anderson and Langan and Spanners has made up a few places as well. He's in 6th place ahead of Van Gien. Through turn 4 we go for the first time. Jonesma already mounting a challenge on James Wingfield. There was looking up the inside of turn 5, but you're not going to get through there. Wingfield out a little bit wide through that right-hander, but there's no way through for Jonesma, who's gone deep into the chicane, runs over the curbing, and that may well have damaged his car. He may well have a slowdown penalty to serve as well. He's just held on to 3rd place there, but he's lost an awful lot of time to James Wingfield, and a spinner in the middle of the pack. It looked to be Ivan Anderson, and he's collected a couple of cars in there as well. It's caused carnage, and here it is again. Didn't look like it was contact from the rear, but he's definitely caught one or more of the drivers in that middle sector. So it's all kicking off in the technical section on that lap. And actually, it's Jonesma who's emerged in 2nd place in all of that, side by side behind them. That's Van Gien who's made up a lot of progress. He's up into 3rd place. So at the end of lap 1, Molden leads by 1.6 seconds to Alex Jonesma, side by side for 3rd place between Alex Van Gien and John Langan, with Spanners trying to come up the inside and takes both of them. What a move from Richard Spanos-Ready. He's picked up 2 places in one corner and finds himself on the podium, and Van Gien, having been the attacker, ends up losing both those spots. Stephen Williams has come up into 6th place. Then it's Colin Ward. Kyle Power has made it through safely as well. He's in 8th place. Then Tara Tyler and Alexander Dobbelsberger. Danny Henney, crucially, has made it through the opening lap without any major dramas, it seems. He's in 11th place. Luke Power, I think, has made it through as well. He's in 14th. So, lap 2 of 11. And there's definitely been a lot of shuffling, a lot of changing, and some great action in the opening stages. There is Spanners in 3rd place, but he's 3.5 seconds behind the lead battle, which is very nearly nose to tail already, with Molden soaking up some pressure from Alex Jonesma. I imagine Jonesma will be lining Molden up for a move down into turn 1. On board with Jonesma now as they go around turn 12. Just got to keep it neat and tidy through these last couple of corners. Make sure he's close enough to get what little slipstream he can down the front straight, and then pounce into turn 1. Around the final corner we go. Jonesma sticking to the back of that number 15 green car, and he is most definitely in the slipstream coming down the front straight. I don't think Molden's going to fight him all that hard. Fastest lap of the race set by Jonesma as well, and down the inside he goes, and he takes the lead of the sprint race. No arguments from Molden on that particular occasion. So we can just catch in the background there the battle for 3rd place, which Spanners is still leading, and we see Van Gien actually in 5th place, getting his elbows out with Stephen Williams, who's trying to make his way through. Power's now on his tail as well, and Henny's making up places as well. He's in 10th place, on board with Stephen Williams now as they rise up the hill, and you cannot pass nearly anyone down there, you're definitely not going to pass Alex Van Gien, who we know is one of the most aggressive defenders in this championship. Oh, that looks like it's Molden who's gone off. Molden very slow around turn 5. He's dropping positions left, right and centre, and that means this battle now is for second place. We saw Power just getting his nose in there. There he's going around the outside of Molden as Molden is recovering, and there we go, he's dropped it on the way into turn 5. Here it is. So, oh, he's just got on the curb out of 4 and then got it all crossed up on the way into 5. So probably overheated the rears, saving that moment, and then just caught himself out through the right-hander. Spanners, yeah, that does promote Spanners up into second place now with that mistake from Molden. Big lock-up from Spanners there. Really having to get used to a very different setup. As we mentioned, he's racing at a sim centre in Malaga. Van Gien almost making contact with the back of him. How often do we get to see the missed apex panelists going toe-to-toe like this? Van Gien right in the slipstream. Spanners has did a great job to get that position, but it looks like he's going to lose it now to Van Gien. We see Williams getting up the inside of Langen behind them as well. So Van Gien through into second place. Williams still side by side with Langen as they come out of the first corner. And Henny was making a move on Colin Ward there as well. It's all action down in towards turns 1 and 2. Langen still holding the line into the left-hander, and Williams has to live for another day. Langen just has to give him some space through turn 3, but still Williams cannot find a way through. Who says you can't overtake at the Hungaroring? This is absolutely mega stuff. So look at this, 3 of our platinum drivers, Williams, Power and Dobertsberger, have found themselves lying astern in the middle of this pack, all squabbling over 5th place at the moment and trying to make their way through the pack as well. And Henny will be right on them as well, because he's got up into 9th place ahead of Colin Ward. He's got Molden between him and Dobertsberger. Oh, Molden goes out wide there. This could be an easy one for Henny, actually. Indeed it is. So there he goes through into 8th place and now joins his fellow platinum drivers in that queue. Ward fancies a run at Molden as well, down the inside into 12. And oh dear, they made contact on the exit. We just caught it on the edge of screen there. There was contact on the exit of the corner. There's more contact, in fact, behind them, because there's plenty of drivers who have got caught up in action. Ward was involved in that as well. Now there's Luca Harrison coming out just behind them. He's had some sort of drama as well, because he's only down in 21st place at the moment. So here's the contact with Ward and Molden again, and Ward just going out to the edge of the track while Molden was still alongside him, and then he's going to have a second hit down into that penultimate corner. So still Langen there in 4th place, who's fending everybody off. Williams and Power and Dobertsberger and Henny and Basso's joined the fight as well. But here comes Williams, pulls out to the outside, getting squeezed out to the edge of the track and has to bail out of it. Langen is not playing pretty tonight. This fight all over 4th place, and they're trying to find their way onto the podium as well. Currently being occupied by Van Gien and Spanners. On board with Power as they snake through this middle sector. There's no passing opportunities here. And I can see Basso's had a spin behind them. So he was in 9th place, but he's dropped down now. So we're going to stick with this battle as Power looks to try and make a move on Stephen Williams. Williams still tucked up behind Langen there, and it's going to be increasingly difficult for these guys to try and make a maneuver while they're sort of tucked up behind each other. There's another opportunity coming here though as they round that final corner. Once again, we're on lap 6 of 11 now as Johnsberg does another fastest lap of the race. Down the front straight we go. Can Williams this time get a better run and make a move on Langen down towards the first corner? He looks a lot closer this time, and he's found himself the inside line this time. And he's side by side with him, and this time Langen can't do anything with it, although he's still got just a bit of an overlap as they head down towards turn 2. And Williams going to have to go the long way around, and he can't do it. He can't do it, or can he? Because he's just held out into turn 3 and he's done him. Finally, Stephen Williams moves through into 4th place and dispatches of John Langen there. And next up in the queue is Kyle Power. And he's got to be careful because Dobertsberger is chomping at the bit to try and make a move on him as well. And it's getting very, very tight there on the exit of turn 5. Power just moves over to say, you're not coming through there, sunshine. Dobertsberger really trying to stick into him in this middle sector. And that's costing Power a little bit of momentum as Langen runs out a bit wide through the right-hander, and Henny trying to have a run at Dobertsberger as well. You see this punch and counter-punch nature of these sprint races where you find yourself in the pack, and if you end up making a move and you're not entirely successful, then you end up really, really exposed. And there's a mistake there for Dobertsberger. That's going to allow Henny to come through on the inside. That's a opportunistic move there as Dobertsberger made a mistake, and John Langen coming into the pits. Why is that? Because he's used up all of his incident points, I think. He's coming to the pits, and I don't think he had damage, so I can only imagine he's bagged himself a drive-through penalty there. So, well, that clears him out of the way for everyone else. Stephen Williams did all the hard work. Everyone else got the easy way through as he came into the pits. And Dobertsberger looking to try and reclaim that 6th place spot from Danny Henny, side by side down towards turn 2. Henny shows him the door. Plenty of tyre smoke as they lock up in that downhill braking zone. And this most definitely the closest battle on track at the moment. Luke Power waiting in the wings to try and pounce if either of them make a mistake as well. There we see, once again, the feigned attempt not coming off for Dobertsberger. That's cost him and put Luke Power right on his gearbox. Look at the curb that Power takes through their extraordinary confidence in that car. Well, I was told attacking the curves was key to lap time, but I didn't think it would be quite so intense. Now, Spanners in 3rd place there is going to be looking in his mirrors because Stephen Williams, and he's gone wide into that penultimate corner. Stephen Williams goes through and Kyle Power goes through as well. So was that Spanners keeping out of the way? I wouldn't have thought he would be quite so keen to let 2 drivers past him, but well, he's down into 5th place. Danny Henny next in line to make a move, but that is now Stephen Williams onto the podium. Kyle Power in 4th, Spanners now 5th, Henny 6th, and Dobertsberger 7th. Power running just a little wide there out of turn 1, and can he bag himself a spot on the podium? He'll be chomping at the bit to try and get Stephen Williams out of the way and make it 2 podiums for the night. And they look like they're just a little out of touch, a little out of range for Alex Van Gien there, who is 3 seconds up the road from this battle in Dronsma. Almost 9 seconds to the good on Alex Van Gien. Well, all this lot have been squabbling. Power closing up on Williams for the final spot on the podium. Henny closing up on Spanners as well, but let's stick with the battle for 3rd because Kyle Power, now the championship leader after his 2nd place finish in the last race, and Luca Harrison dropping further down the order because of that last lap contact, and I believe more dramas in this race as well because he's not in the top 20 as it stands. So bit of a scruffy weekend for Luca Harrison so far, the man who was leading the championship going into this round. And we have certainly seen fewer mistakes from Harrison, and well, in fairness, we haven't seen what's happened, so we won't apportion any blame. But it's this man, Kyle Power, in the green number 2 car, who is leading the championship, looking towards the inside. There he was, and they're side by side on the exit of the corner because he's forced Williams to go out wide. Side by side towards turn 2 once again, and Luke Power meanwhile has had a moment. He's had a spin out of turn 1, but we'll stick with this because they're absolutely nose to tail coming up through turn 4. Surely Power's not going to try and go around the outside of turn 4. This would be monumental. He's trying it. He's trying to go around the outside. That is bravery in the extreme. Through the right hander now. Power's got the line, but Williams trying to brave this one out. Side by side still towards the chicane we go. And Power will have the inside line again and brilliantly takes third place. Now Danny Henney is on the back of these guys and wants to get in the action as well. Brilliant move from Power. So more incredible action as they come through towards turn 12 now. And I think Luke Power, I mentioned he had that bit of a moment at turn 1. I didn't see who was with. It might well have been with Alexander Dobbetsberger, but he's still in 8th place at the moment. So he's doing okay. Let's see if Henney now can move himself up into 4th place, because Williams is on the back foot now, coming down the straight. Might not be close enough. I'm told 0.3 of a second is what you need to be close enough out of that final corner. He's looking up the inside. It's a lunge. It's a lunge. Williams leaves him enough space, and Henney ends up running wide on the exit of the corner. Nothing doing on that occasion. That was a lunge from Henney down into turn 1. Up towards turn 4, where Power brilliantly took or started the move for 3rd place, ended about 3 corners later. Cracking stuff. And I see Tim Ellis has moved his way into 6th place as well, and Luke Power as well going through on Spanners just behind him. So Spanners, having been in 2nd place, dropping down the order now, just keeping out of the action, really, especially while he's on not his normal setup, so not trying to cause any problems for the drivers he's encountering. But still, though, cracking move to take 2nd place it was, wasn't it? 2 in 1 down into turn 1. Can't take that away from him. So here comes Danny Henney once again around the final corner. He's tucked right up behind the rear wing of Stephen Williams' car. Down the front straight we go, and right in the slipstream on board with Danny Henney. Williams goes towards the inside, and it's not enough because Henney still found that line anyway, and going through into 4th place is Danny Henney. Although Williams gets a great run out of the corner, Henney locked up a little bit and ran wide for good measure. So they're side by side, still coming down towards turn 2. Henney will have the line into the left-hander, and Williams has to tuck in and settles for 5th place. Williams still having a crack at Henney, but nothing doing down into turn 4. And we've already found ourselves on the last lap. How did that happen? So Alex Johnsworth 12 seconds to the good at the moment over Alex Van Gien. But Johnsworth making his way into that final sector now. And for Alex Johnsworth, it will be a 2nd win of the season. Johnsworth coming around the final corner now. Johnsworth out of the final corner and takes the victory in the first of the sprint races at the Hungaroring. His 2nd victory of the season. Another fastest lap to boot. He's been pumping him in all race long, and it's a long old wait for Alex Van Gien in 2nd place, who takes his 2nd podium of the season as well. And Kyle Power makes it 2 in 1 night on the podium. Let's see if we can have a word with our race winner. So Alex Johnsworth, you're in the commentary box with us. That was quite the performance. 12 seconds to the good in the end.
Oh, cheers, man. Still a bit gutted about the first race because, yeah, a bit unfortunate. But, yeah, the W helps to ease that pain a little bit.
I'm sure. Now, I know you've just won a race, but I have to ask, can you just talk us through that incident with Luca in the feature race?
I had plenty of X's, and then in the last couple of laps, I thought, you know what, I'll use some up, get close, in case something like Luca going wide happens. He went wide. I just took the racing line. I had no intention to overtake him. but I was just carrying racing speed, couldn't slow down anymore, and he sort of just turned into me. I think just unfortunate, really.
Well, it's, as you say, been made all the sweeter with the win in this race. Your third in the championship, your second of the season as well. So it's all going well for you at the moment.
Ah, well, that sounds nice. Let's see how this next race goes, though, from 20th. Oof.
Yeah. Now, so we saw Danny. He came through to finish fourth in the end. Can you pull out something similar?
I am not Danny, and my luck is not that good. Yeah.
Okay, well, in fairness, I don't think anyone could be like Danny. So, well, we look forward to seeing you come through the pack anyway.
Cheers, guys. See you there.
So, let's confirm the results then for the second race of the night, for round 3 of the Missed Apex iRacing F3 Cup. Alex Jonesworth takes his second win of the season, and it's Alex Van Gien taking his second podium of the season, while Kyle Power takes his second podium of the night. It's all the seconds in the top 3. Stephen Williams gets 4th place, just fending off Danny Henney in the end, and Tim Ellis in 6th place. Then it's Luke Power, Spanners Ready in 8th. James Braid all the way up in 9th place and 2nd in the silver standings as well. Cracking job from him, with Richard Molden in 10th place. And Jose O'Donnell and Lucas Raskovitz in 11th and 12th. Ishmael Basso getting 13th in the end. Molden, I should say, was the gold leader. Alexandros Marevkani in 14th, and then John Langan, who we saw the robust defence but came into the pits, was 15th. Then Colin Ward, Matt Trumpet, Alexander Dobertsberger. So he had a late drama somewhere because he was well up inside the top 10, starts 18th. Then John McClintock and bagging reverse grid pole, Adrian Clark in 20th. So we'll be right back with the final race of the night. Don't go anywhere.